Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our bunny overalls treat bag. Cute little idea, and this one's kind of somewhere in the middle as far as complexity goes. Nothing crazy. First thing we're going to do is we're going to just do a little bit of paper piecing. Get this little tiny stuff out of the way. Okay, just find all your little buttons. Okay, make sure they're right side up. And there's one with 4 holes. Put that one off to the side along with this piece, and then the other ones all go like this, because we're going to actually put brads through these. Okay, so with this one here, we're going to take this solid button and we're going to glue that onto our black layer, just completely flush. Press that down. Then we're going to take the button with the 4 holes and we're going to glue that down on top of that. Okay, this is going to be his main button for his fly. There we go. That's done. And then we're going to just take these and glue them onto each of these little donuts. Again, that center hole is going to be for our brad, which is going to hold his suspenders in place. Okay, so there's one. These are going to be great for your kids or your husband or whoever, anyone you want to make this for. If you're going to an Easter breakfast, brunch, dinner, whatever it may be, and you want to bring the host or hostess something, this is a cute little way to present it, obviously. Okay. You get the idea here. If you want to skip ahead, you can. I just wanted to make sure I cover everything and anything so that nothing is left to guessing. Okay. Get that in there like that. There we go. All right, the buttons are done. Now let's take a look at our feet here. We're going to have a black layer, brown, and then white is going to go on top of that. So go ahead and begin applying your glue onto the brown layer. Yeah, I mean, we could have gone super crazy with the engineering on this, but, you know, I mean, trying to walk that fine line. Okay, so we've got the brown in place. Now let's grab the white and we're going to glue that right on top of the brown. Okay, and you can see where it needs to go, obviously. Right at the bottom there, you want to make sure it's flush with the bottom, flush with the sides. So there's one of his feet. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. And we did include a little element for the back of his feet. So when you're looking at the back and you see his cute little tail, it doesn't look awkward. It's all in the details. We try to be as precise and accurate with stuff as possible, you know. I mean, but at the same time, how many bunnies do you know that wear denim overalls? So I guess in a way, I'm a little crazy, but that's all right. We're all a little crazy. Okay, so there's 2 of them where the bottom parts here kind of stick out more, and then there's 2 that don't stick out as much. Okay, the ones that don't stick out as much are going to go on the front. The ones that stick out a little bit more are going to go in the back. I'm sorry, these that do not stick out as much are going to go in the front. Yeah, so these you're going to pair with these. These we're going to pair with these. Now, also, when you're doing this, make sure you are putting this on the right one, because these are a little bit different. So it may not fit before you put the glue down, make sure that it fits this little shadow area correctly. And if it doesn't seem right, try the other one and just glue the other one down instead. Okay, there we go, like that. Okay, so we're done with that. Now let's go over here And same thing applies to this one. Just make sure it looks right. Okay, so it's going to look like that. And just a little bit of that sticking out. That looks right. Flip this over, apply some glue. Pop that right on there. That's, you know, when you curl up you fold over the bottom of your pants, that is essentially the fabric inside of the denim, I guess you could say. Okay, so that one's ready. And we'll do the same thing here. Just get this one glued into place. Very simple so far. Okay. Here we go. All right, so that's done. And now we've got a little carrot. Obviously, we're going to take the carrot color, pop it on top of the green ink where appropriate. And, you know, I never really talk about what colors I use because essentially it's just a darker version of whatever color you're inking. This is an extra little piece of candy you can put in his pocket. These back pockets have these little bunnies that you can glue on there. Let's just do that now while it's still flat and easy to work with. I didn't even do any inking to this. He's got some bunny brand of jeans apparently. Okay, so that's ready. And let's get this one going. Okay, and it's just going to go right in the center. And we're using a little pom-pom for his tail. His tail's going to be sticking out through his jeans, and we're just going to accomplish that with a little pom-pom. So kind of a little finishing touch. All right, we'll put that off to the side. We also have, we can do this while, actually, you know what? Bring these back for a second. These little pockets have these green little overlays, and those are going to go flush at the top. So just get that right on there. You could probably put these on first, so then that way you can center the little bunnies better, but I think that looks fine. Okay, get that on there, all in the details. We have these two pieces and these two pieces. And obviously this is just going to go on like this. And make sure that you're using the right one on the right side because they are slightly different. They're mirrored, but they'll only work on one side. And just make that flush with the inside there. Kind of like Seattle Seahawks colors for my Washington friends. There we go. Okay, so that's ready. These pockets are going to go on later. All this stuff can be put aside for now. We do have a little patch that's going to go on his jeans as well. And just throw a little bit of glue on this white part, and that's just going to go in the center like so. Press that down, put that off to the side, and now we can start actually constructing the pants. Okay. All right, so you'll notice on these, that there are some Roman numerals on here. You're going to have 1 through 4. 4 is 4 lines in the shape of a square. Okay, so here's 1. There's no tab on this side. That's going to be the opening. That's going to be the top. So 1 is going to connect to 2. Okay, and this part here is going to go like this. Okay, so we need to connect the short side like that, because this up here is going to be the crotch section. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply some glue. Literally putting glue on the tab with the Roman numeral 1 on it. And because of its odd shape, we ended up doing like a little skeleton for this thing, just to make it easier to assemble. But get that lined up as accurately as you can, and then take it, fold it over on itself, and check your alignment. The glue's acting funky today. Press that down and just hold it. Make sure that it gets a good hold. How do we do? We did good, okay. So that's 1 and 2 connected. Now again, 2 is going to go up this way. Here is 3. Okay, but now 3 we need like this. So it's going to go like this, and this is the crotch area, this is the foot. So this is going to go like this. So let's apply glue right onto this tab here. Spread that out a little bit more. There we go. And just line that up as accurately as you can. I'll take this, fold it over onto itself, check my alignment, and press that down. There we go. Okay, now remember this is actually going to curve in like that. Then finally, this side has no tab. I need to take this tab and connect it down here. And this is the number 4. It's 4 dashed lines in the shape of a square. So just make sure you're looking at the right thing. Okay, I'll put that down and line that up. There we go. I'm going to fold it over onto itself. Check my alignment, press that down. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so now bring all these tabs in. We're going to start working with our little skeleton piece and building the actual structure. So you can see the pants there, okay? You can start with either the front or the back. You have 2 pieces that look like this, one that has an F on it, one that has a B. Doesn't matter which one you pick at this point. We're going to pop it in like this. My tab is not sitting very well, it's okay. Pop it in like this, and we're actually going to glue the tabs to the front of this piece. Okay, what we're going to do is we're actually going to start in the center, in the crotch area. Let's put a little bit of glue on one of these tabs here, and do another one on this side. You could do one at a time if you want, okay? It doesn't matter if this is front or back. I started on a different tab, but I'm going to change gears here because this is a better way of making sure that we're doing it right. Push this piece in as far as it'll go, okay? And then push this out as far as it'll go this way, and push down on that tab. Same with this. Push it towards this piece from the inside as far as it'll go, and then push down on the tab. And there it is, okay? Now the rest of it will just kind of wrap around, and it should fit perfectly. And it does. Okay, so here's what we can do next is just apply some glue to this little tab. This is the bottom where the foot's going to be. Tuck that under, push this way up against this skeleton piece, then push down from the inside like that. And then apply glue here. Bring that in and under. Push down. Okay, if you need to, you can grab a little dowel and use that to push down. Just make sure it's as far in as it'll go. There we go. Looks good. And we can go over here to this little tab. Just throw a little bit of glue on that. Tuck that under. Make sure you're pushing it up against this piece as far as it'll go, like this. Then push down from the inside to help that tab make contact. And then we'll go here, apply some glue to that tab, tuck it under, like that. And I'm going to use my dowel while I push in to help that make contact. Okay, and looks good. There we go. Okay, so we have our basic structure is mostly complete, and we're going to take the back. We're going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to push that down as far as it'll go. And this one's going to be a little trickier. Okay, but same concept. Let's start on the inside and just get that anchored like so. And then you can flip this down, and then you can actually put this down on your surface. It's going to be a little tough to see in there, but make sure this is all the way down and press down. I can't really get a camera in there, I'm sorry, but you understand what's going on here. Okay, so that tab is making contact. Now we're going to go over here and we'll apply glue to this tab. Press that down, and then if you need to get a little dowel down there, that's fine. I can still get my hand in there because this part's not glued down. Just keep pushing up against that part. Make sure it's making contact and press it down. Okay, so that one's in place, which leaves this one on this side. Okay, fold that over and under, and you're going to push this wall up against this piece while you're pressing down from the inside to help that glue make contact. I'm using my dowel. Okay, see that? Nice and clean. You can move over to the other side, the other leg. Let me clean this nozzle off. It's looking kind of gross. And we'll apply glue here. Fold that over, put that down on our surface, and just make sure that's pushing up against that surface. I'm using my dowel to push down. There we go. Pardon my head there. Okay. I thought I broke it. That's perfect. That worked out nicely. A little bit of glue there. Tuck that under. I'm pushing this way up against that piece. And I'm definitely going to have to use my dowel for this. All the way in the caverns of the bunny's pants. Okay. And the last section here. Pull that tab out. Yeah, just because of its funky shape, I ended up going with this. You guys are familiar with our little skeleton pieces. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now that we have the actual pants together, the rest of it is pretty much a cakewalk. All right, so we do have these two little pieces. These are little liners that are gonna go inside. You can literally just take and squeeze a little bit of glue in there and just drop those in. Whoa, geez. Use a little dowel to push those into place. Grab this one, do the same thing. Just drop it in nicely. Rather than meanly. Don't be a meanie. Okay. Okay, so now we're just going to put our denim layers in place. We're going to put the sides on first. So there's two of these. They're both identical, so it doesn't matter which one you put where. These are just going to go on like this. Try to center these. You should have a tiny little bit of it kind of overlapping onto this surface so that when we put the front and back on, actually, you know what? We're going to put the front and back on first. I think that makes more sense. Okay, because these are going to be flush. So it doesn't matter which side is which. This is a symmetrical piece on the front and back. So we're just going to get that on here. Let's just do the back first. Go ahead and get your glue on here, get it out to the perimeter. Okay, and just line that up nice and flush. Should be flush on top, flush on the sides, flush on the bottom. And then you can put that down on your surface, press down from the inside. You can grab your dowel too to press down on the rest of the surface. There we go, that's nice. This paper is pretty cool. It's called the Garment District Kit. And I'll show you and we'll have it in the supply list as far as the name of the paper company that makes it. But that looks really nice. Okay, so let's put the front on. And the front's gonna go on like this. Now don't worry about those tabs. We're gonna cover those up in just a moment. Go ahead and, I was playing with my inks. And I figured no one's gonna see this once I glue it down, so don't worry about that little blue splotch. Maybe the bunny had an accident. Yeah, and apparently when they have accidents, it's, never mind, I'm not gonna go there. Okay, all right, so just line that up, just like we did with the back. Make sure it's flush with the sides, flush with the center, flush with the top, just like that. Just run your finger around the perimeter, make sure it's making good contact, and then you can also just put that down on your surface. And use your dowel to get it to grab on in the center. Okay, there we go, cool. That's working out nicely. Check your seams. I've got an area there that just didn't work out. Per usual, it happens. Don't worry about it. Grab yourself a scrap piece of paper, throw a little bit of glue on that, and just paint some extra glue on any little areas that maybe didn't work out. It happens, it's life. Maybe that's where I started with my glue and just dried out before I was able to press it down. It happens. I got that top part there, needs a little extra love too. Just like that. I'll press that down. I can put that down on my surface. Better yet. Okay, cool. That looks good. Hello to my new Instagram subscriber. Welcome. Okay, you know what, while we're here, you're gonna have this little piece, like a little puzzle. It's gonna go right in here, like that, just to cover up that little tab. Let's do that real quick. Just throw that in there. Should line up nicely, be nice and flush with the side. Okay. And grab my other one for the other side. Do the same thing. And then we'll put the sides of the pants in place. And you know, we've got some layering going on here just to kind of create the dimension and realism of the pants. That'll look nice once it's all done. Just going around the perimeter, checking to make sure that my denim part is sitting nice and flush everywhere. Okay, so that looks good. And now we're gonna do the sides. And the reason we're doing them last is because, again, the front and back overlap a little bit so that when we put this on, it should be nice and seamless all the way around. And mine looks pretty darn good. So let's go ahead and apply our glue to the sides of the pants. Okay. All the way around. And just line that up. Again, should be flush with the top, flush with the bottom, and then match up with those edges from the front and back. Just very gently push that down into place. and hold it for a moment. Give it a second to really set. Okay, and it looks like my front ended up looking better than my back. That's okay. I'm going to ink that a little bit. I guess I didn't hit this side with enough ink. This is a white core paper. So when you're dealing with white core, and you know, you don't want white to show up because obviously this is, you know, it kind of sticks out. You know, you just have to ink it just to hide it. And that's what I'm going to have to do with this. I guess I didn't hit that with enough of the black ink. Okay. So let me find my black ink here. There it is. And I'm just going to rough up this edge right here with a little bit of black to hide that white core. It'll make it blend nicely. There we go. And I've got a nice gap there that I got to clean up. Still. There we go. Hold that in place, let it set. We got one more side to put in, and we're gonna start working on the belt in just a bit here, but we need to put the little, I'm not a jean specialist. I don't know what all the different parts of a jean are. I'm not a seamstress. What do they even call a male seamstress? I have no idea. I just work here. I kid. Someone will leave a comment and educate me, and I would appreciate that. Okay, so there we go. That looks nice. Let's go to the other side here and get this one in place. I think I did a pretty good job inking this one. So very nice detailed piece. Okay, as you can see, again, make sure flush at the top. That's where I would start. You want to make sure it's flush at the top and flush on the sides, because the bottom, once we put those feet in place, it's going to cover up any potential imperfections that we may run into because of, you know, well, not necessarily poor assembly, just possibility that things don't line up properly happens often in the paper world, and that was a disaster. Let me try that again. It's because I was all over the place. It happens. Well, let's try that one more time. Top and front are the most important seams here. Get those lined up nicely. Just kind of press that into place. And press that down. There we go, there we go, and there we go. Okay, much better this time. This paper has almost like a little sheen to it. So it doesn't grip as well as my typical cardstock for whatever reason. I'm gonna have to clean up the back a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, next we're gonna grab these two pieces that have the little stitching going down the center, and we're just gonna apply some glue. You notice that on the sides of the legs, there are little markers at the top and bottom, here and here, to help you ensure that you get that centered. Okay, so just follow those little score marks, and you can see how, pardon my head there, you can see how realistic that looks. Does my head keep getting in there? I don't know. All right, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, pop that into place. Check those little score marks. Use them as your guides. There we go. That looks looks nice. This side looks a little better for whatever reason. Maybe because of inking? I don't know. Okay. All right, cool. So next, we can start working on the belt part. Okay. And what we're going to do is, this is the front. Now, obviously, we want to match this up. There's a little hole that didn't pop out. I'm going to match that up with the little cutouts. Okay, so I did make a boo-boo here. In order for the suspenders to work properly, the location of where the brads go is different, okay? It's not a big deal because you're just going to end up poking this through anyway. So you know what, just don't worry about it. This is going to go right on here. Just make sure that you match it up with the existing holes there. They're a little hard to see because they're not completely poked through, but this just goes on like this anyway. Okay, and you know what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually ink this a little bit darker because I saw what inking did to that side pant leg, and it really helps it really stand out when you're putting denim on denim like this. Otherwise, things tend to get a little lost. So I'm going to make this a little bit deeper of a color. There you go. So you can see the difference there. Okay. This little cutout, this little slit, you want it pointing to the right. Okay, so that's going to go like that. And I'm going to just start by putting glue on just this part, not on the tabs, not yet. Okay, so remember, this is going to go on the front, the part that has the pockets. You want this to be flush with the top. And these little tabs here, where the folds are, they're going to go over onto the adjacent surface here. Just make sure this is flush at the top. Okay, and then we can take and peel this back and apply some glue there. Fold that over. The next layer is going to go on top of that to close it up. That's just in case we just didn't want any gaps. Okay, and I don't know if I lined that up well enough. That'll work. Okay. All right, and we'll flip it over, go to the back, grab this piece, and it's gonna go like this. Just match it up with the holes. There's only one correct way. Again, the holes don't go all the way through, but they do match up with the layer on the vellum, which is fine. All I did incorrectly was the little structural pieces that said F or B, I put them on the wrong side, but it doesn't matter. They're both the same minus the little holes for the suspenders and where the brads are going to go. So not a big deal. It happens. All right, we'll flare this out, apply our glue here, fold that over and press that down. Same thing here. And you know what? This is actually, if you omit the bunny elements, it's a pair of jeans. It's a pretty cool, you know, it's a pretty cool little piece to, well, it's a pair of pants too, but it's also a pair of jeans. So you could give that as a little treat box. Okay, so finally we're going to take these little strips and these are going to go over those little tabs to cover them up and close this off. So go ahead and apply your glue to that. Pop that right on there. And I may go and hit this with a little additional ink, but I love how that looks with that seam on top, over this seam, all that little dimension, beautiful paper. Really looks like a nice pair of jeans. Pretty cool, actually. I'm digging it so far. And we'll go over to the other side and apply our glue to the last strip. We have some little details that we're going to put on here as well. And then we just have to work on the suspenders and we can call it a day. Make sure you get that nice and centered. Nice and flush at the top. There we go. Cool. All right, well, while we're here, before we do anything else, let's find this button with that little black element kind of hanging off of it, and pop that in just like a little puzzle, like that. There we go. And you see little score marks here. That's for these guys. That's your little belt loop. Again, I'm not an expert on the anatomy of a pair of pants, so pardon me if I'm using all the wrong terminology. Someone is probably going to scold me for that, and that's okay. I'll take it. Only so much room in this brain. That one's going to go there. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's see, we have 2 more of these that are going to go on the back. The buttons, we'll save those for the suspenders for later. Okay, this is going to go on here. If something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. I think that's how the saying goes. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. All right, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to leave the suspenders for last. Almost lost my brads. Here's the feet, that. Okay, so this is the front. We can put our little patch in place. That's going to go right there. You can see there's a little set of score marks to help you with the placement of that. So let's do that real quick. Just get that in place. That's a nice little touch. You had a little mishap in the garden. It happens, okay? And then we have a little spot here for our carrot. You can pop dot that or glue it down. I'm going to glue it down flat. I don't think we need to put a zot on that. He has some designer jeans that designer thought it was a good idea to put little carrots on it. It's cute. Okay. All right, now these little pockets here, we need to get these in place. And it's a good idea to take and really kind of with a bone folder or whatever it is that you have, just really kind of work those score marks on these little sections here, okay? Because what we're going to do is this is going to get glued. You see the little markers there to help you with the positioning. Those are going to go on like that for the little pockets, and then we have a little overlay that's going to go on top of that. So all we need to do here, and these pockets are functional, so you could even put like a little surprise note in there if you want. Okay, I'm going to thin that out a little bit. Okay, and then use the markers to guide you with the placement. Just to make sure we get it in the right spot. Okay, and if you want, once you have it in place, use your table to really push down on that. Okay. There we go. And then this is just going to go over like this. Okay, so actually just apply glue to this. And just press that down, gives it a little dimension. Let me put that down on my surface. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right. Just go easy on the glue here. You don't need a lot for this pocket. Okay, again, use those little markers to help you with the placement. And I would focus on the bottom markers Okay, there we go. Hold that in place. Flip it over, push down. There we go. Okay, solid. All right, and we'll head over here, apply our glue to this piece, and put that little overlay on top. There we go. And press that down. Okay, cool. All right, so now, well, let's put some, we gotta put some candy in his pocket. There we go. And we have the two little dudes in the back pockets. I'm just gonna flatten those out a little bit so they go down easier. And we have, there's markers there to help you with the placement, obviously. Keep everything looking nice and clean and symmetrical. So use those to your advantage, please. There we go. You can stick your hand inside there. Give yourself some leverage. There we go. Push that down from the inside. There's one. And we'll do the other one. We get the feet in place, and then we just have to put the suspenders together, and then we just have to fill it up. So I kind of wish that Peyton was old enough to know what the heck this was. I know Liesel's going to have a really fun time with him this Easter, hunting for Easter eggs. It'll be his first time, so that's going to be special for us, I'm sure. Okay, cool. So that looks good. What am I missing here? Feet. Let's get the feet going. And for these, I do want to foam square these. These are going to, obviously, you want to raise them up so they're not below, you know, the, what's it called? Below the actual box, because you still want this to stand up. Okay, and let's take a look here. I'm just making sure that I got this set right. Yeah, so this is kind of angling out. I don't want that. I want I want that kind of angling in, and then on the inside it kind of angles, just follows the line of the crotch, I guess you could say. And just do your best to center these. I'm going to use 2 foam squares dead center on both of these. Let's pull that off, pull that off. Okay, just use the middle toe as kind of your guide to get that centered. There we go. There's his front feet. Whoops. Okay, we'll flip it over. Let's do the same thing for the back. I think 2 dots will do. And don't forget the little buttons that we have left over that are remaining are going to be used in conjunction with some brads to hold the suspenders in place. Okay, now for the back here, you want this kind of angling out, just like the pants. Get that centered. Make sure it's flush with the bottom so it's not obstructing its ability to stand up. And just pop that into place, get it nice and centered. It's the back of his feet. There we go. Super cute, okay. All right, now let's take a look at our suspenders. All right, wrapping it up here. Grab our suspenders. We're gonna start with this brown layer. Brown layer first, and you'll notice that there's too long, too short, okay? And what we wanna do before we do anything is just kind of train these. Grab yourself a dowel, and pretty much right where the L is, place this piece between your finger and the dowel, and lift up about 90 degrees and run it through. Okay, we're gonna do that through for all of them, just to kind of get it used to curving. When we glue these things together, it helps. Okay, so we got 2 long, 2 short. We're gonna need 1 long, 1 short for each one. And you'll notice that on this little guy here, there's a little marker. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply glue below the marker all the way to the bottom. And then on this guy, just put a little bit right at the tip and spread that out to the very edge. And then take and line that up right up to that little marker and press and hold. You want this to dry while it's round like this. Okay, you see how nice and round that is. And don't crease it. Just be very gentle with it and let it dry like that. Let's go over to this other one. Same thing. Find the side with the little score mark. Apply glue below the score mark all the way down. And then on this guy, on the inside, just a little bit of glue right at the very edge. Spread that out. And then take and put the smaller one right up to the little score line. Make sure it's flush on the sides. And then get that nice and flush. There we go. Okay, so there you can see how curved that is. All right, next we've got this little leather pattern. And again, too long, too short. So take a long and a short for one side, a long and a short for the other. And with this, it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna overlap it. We'll glue one at a time. But we do want to train it like we did the other ones. Okay. So grab one. Doesn't matter which side you start on. Let's begin by applying glue to the entire surface. Not the surface, the back of it. The back surface. Okay. And in this case here, we just want to line up the holes. Okay, there's going to be a little bit of brown showing through there. Make sure it's flush there. And then just take it and make sure it's flush all the way through and through. Make sure it's making good contact and keep it curved while it's drying. Okay, just like that. And then this smaller one is just going to go right over it like this. Okay, so there's going to be a little bit of an overlap there. That's okay. It's going to help reinforce it, make it nice and strong. And also, once everything completely dries, it will maintain its shape very well. Okay, press that down, make sure the holes match up. Now I'm using my finger to kind of feel to make sure that it's lined up and centered as I push down as I work my way up. There we go. Like that. And just give that a little bit of a bend. We want it to be nice and round. And we can adjust it here and there if we need to. Now this little section here that's kind of lifting up, if you're getting that, just grab yourself a scrap piece of paper and just tuck a little bit of glue under there and just press and hold right there. There's a lot of tension and resistance in that little area, and that's expected. You've got a lot of layers working together here, okay? Go over to the other one now. Same thing. Doesn't matter if you grab the shorty or the long one. Let's get the first one in place. Just apply our glue. Okay, start at the bottom where the hole is. I didn't train this one. That's okay. I'll do the other one. We'll just kind of train it on the fly. As long as that first layer is trained, you should be okay. But it may want to try to pull away a little bit more than if we did train it, which is why I suggest training it. But it'll be okay. Yeah, it definitely does not want to hug the surface as easily. So it requires more effort. And this is why we train things. That's okay though. We'll get it. Okay. Just hold that in place. And what I'm noticing here, maybe it won't be so noticeable, but I might want to take my brown ink pad and just run it along the edge here, because that's got that white core that I'm not a big fan of. And I don't mind using like the full ink pad on that because, you know, I mean, it's leather. So it actually works out nicely. Gives it a nice bold edge. Okay, cool. Might do that to this one too. Yeah, we're pretty much done. It's gonna be fun filling this thing up with some goodies for the kiddies. Yeah, looks better. Okay, anyway, going back to this, don't forget to train it. Really helps. Okay, and then we're gonna wrap this up by putting a little denim piece on there so that it coordinates with the rest of the jeans. I suppose if you wanted to just make the, this leather, you could. You could do whatever you want. This is your project. Okay, there we go. Make sure the holes line up and then just work your way up and around. And I've got a beautiful gap there because I did not train it. So do as I say, not as I do, but I can clean that up. I'll just tuck this in there, get a little extra glue on there, and I'm just gonna have to hold that in place for a few extra moments because I didn't listen to my own advice, and it's okay. There we go. Okay, that is nice. I'm gonna curve that a little bit. All right, so 2 straps done, and finally we have the denim piece, and you can see where that needs to go. There's kind of like an offset there. It's gonna go like that. So you've got the leather strap with a denim overlay. Super cool. I can't remember the last time I wore suspenders. Maybe at a wedding or something, or overalls for that matter. We were thinking about maybe even doing, oh, forgot to train it again. Geez, Leo, what are you doing? Okay, don't forget to train it. I'm just gonna have to sit here like a dingus and just hold it while it dries. But that final layer is really going to make it super sturdy and very nice. And I might hit this with some black, we'll see. I don't know, I don't even know if it needs it. There you go. That worked out nicely. All right, so I'm gonna train this one just because you should. Don't put glue on it and then try to train it, because then you're going to end up with glue everywhere, obviously. Do a little curly Q all the way down, match it up here where it starts to kind of come out. And just work your way down. Make sure it's nice and centered throughout. Keep it bent. If you try to glue all these flat and then bend it like this, all of these layers are going to come pulling apart. So don't do that. This is why we're doing it this way. Okay, it doesn't matter which side is the front, which side is the back. All that's left to do now, and as I mentioned, I goofed up with the holes. So you're going to just take your brad and just punch the holes. That should work easily. There's just one layer that we need to poke through. That worked nicely. Okay, and in the front they're just going to go on normal. So grab a button, grab a brad, put the brad through, but on the back they're going to crisscross. Okay, spread those brads out. And here, we're actually going to go over to this side because we want, that's how suspenders work. Don't forget to add a button on the back. So if you have it starting here, you're going to end up on the other side, on the back. Okay, just poke that through. Spread that brad apart. Okay. There's one half of the suspender. Grab yourself a button. Poke your brad through. Poke it through the front. Spread that brad apart. There we go. And you can either go under or over. Doesn't really matter at this point. Okay. Don't forget the button and your final brad. Poke it through and spread it out. And there we go. Okay. And there you have our bunny pants. That's it, guys. That's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please take a moment, visit us on our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. While you're there, hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new project, whether it be paid or free. And if you make this or anything from our latest bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook, do a search for Dreaming Tree Official. That's where I hang out, that's where Mike hangs out, and over 56,000 of our friends. So anyway, hope you had a blast. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos and please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section where you'll find over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly tutorials. I'll see you in the craft room.